Hi, and a very good afternoon. Mostly, I think post-lunch sessions are pretty killers, actually, I can say. Anyway, I would like to thank Mr. Mathai for basically has made my job pretty easy, actually. He's gone a lot and elaborated a lot of stuff. Mine is short and sweet. Okay, what exactly does training mean? The most and the simplest definition of training is what? It's basically the action of teaching a person or animal a particular skill or a type of behavior. Uh, the fact remains that training is basically learning. And the fact remains that from the day that you opened your eyes for this world, you've been actually learning something, you've been trained, you've been training something to someone. So it's just maybe like, wearing a dress to making a toughest decision on your business is basically related to learning, which actually comes from training. So as I said, from the day one till today, you're actually learning, you're actually teaching, you're actually training something, and that's how the entire fact is about. Out here we have franchisees, we have franchisors, and the basic fact remains the same. I have a product, I want you to sell, but if I don't teach you how to sell, if I don't tell you what are the features, or if I don't train you properly, you'll not be able to sell it across. Or even if you sell it across, you might not sell it the right way. That's exactly what training is about. Basic features, which I guess he's already covered in an elaborate way, but I would just like to tell you. The basic features why you require training is number one, I want you to know me. I want you to know what I am, where I am, how have I come in. So basic thing is knowledge about the company, product and service, what I'm going to give you, and most important, what is the value proposition that you're going to propose to your customer. The most important, the factual thing is, if I don't know what is the value of my product or what I'm going to sell, I'm not selling actually. Second, the most important fact is productivity. As I said, bottom line, sales, profit, money is what exactly comes out. So which includes the entire sales proposition, what I'm going to propose to the franchisee and what the franchisee is going to propose to the customer. What are the money matters which are involved in this entire thing? What is my goal as a franchisor? What is my goal? Where do I see you as a franchisee in the next 6 months, a year, 2 years? Where do I see this company? Today I got 50 stores or 50 points of contact. Tomorrow I would like to have 100 contacts. How do I reach that? Everything has to go imbibed into this training program for the franchisee. Last, the most important, of course, the measuring outcomes. Where am I? What do I want you to do in the next 6 months? What kind of monies that should be involved? Where do you involve yourself in the next 6 months in terms of the kind of acquisitions that you made? Everything imbibes in productivity. I always believe in, basically I represent a brand which is absolutely the most happening brand today, which is Chhota Bheem. I'm sure that apart from kids, a lot of adults also enjoy Chhota Bheem. So, it is not that I have a great product and I know that, boss, it's a very simple thing. You just have to go and sell my products, that's it. But the fact remains that I need to tell them about my product. And the most important, I get to learn something from them also. Which is basically, it's like a give and take relation about training. It's not that I know everything and I can, this is what it is and this is what you do. It's never like that. When I take a next step, I know there'll be something which I might not know or which I might just know from maybe a little bit of it, and I come back to it. And the most important, when we do training, when there is interaction, when there is collaboration, what ultimately results is growth. Your growth, our growth, franchisee growth, and the entire growth of the business. So as I said, you can't go all alone and score a goal. You need a team to score a goal. So hence, when you need a team to score a goal, you need to train them how to score a goal. And that's how you win. Okay, whose responsibility training? It's actually the franchise responsibility. I'm talking to a third person who doesn't know about my product and I say, boss, here's my product, go and sell. He cannot do that. It has to be my role to guide him, to cajole him, to tell him what to do, to sternly tell him sometimes, to sweetly tell him what exactly the entire thing is about, process about, what is my scope of business, where do I have to reach, where does he has to reach. It is supposed to be an in-house thing. So it can be an in-house thing, it can be a company-owned outlet, wherever. But the point is, interaction has to be from the franchisor. It is his sole responsibility about the entire thing. Again, when you have a set business in place, you already have a set franchisee in place. The most important or the most easiest factor is a new guy, introduce him to an existing person and ask him, okay boss, why don't you spend some time with him, spend some days with him and learn the entire business and process. The simplest thing. Because he is with his own kind, he'll ask n number of questions which can be actually told by an existing and experienced franchisee. So, last but not the least, what do we train? One is assessment. That is basically what is the need, which I guess already covered in the earlier sessions. What is the expectation? Two things which are very simple. What is my need to sell this product, and what is my expectation of this product or my service? That comes into what do you train. Second, what kind of module should I have? When I'm making a package of training for a new franchisee, what is the kind of things that should be there? What is the kind of module? What is the kind of, what is it technical, non-technical? Is it financial, non-financial? Is it systems? It has to be very clear. I don't have to tell the entire thing about my company to a franchisee. I need to just tell them what is the point to which he is comfortable in selling his product. Last, content, method, and resource. Three things which are very simple in terms of selling a product or a brand. I will show you a small clip from a very famous movie, and it actually defines what training is about. And so I'm going to give you a package of entertainment post-lunch. It's a famous movie, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. I'm sure everybody must have watched it also.
देखा कुछ बात थी उसमें। साला दुनिया के तौर तरीके कदम कदम पे चैलेंज करता था। वायरस के घोंसले में एक आजाद पंछी घुस आया था। हम सब तो प्रोफेसर के रिमोट कंट्रोल पे चलने वाले रोबोट्स थे। वो बस एक ही था जो शायद मशीन नहीं था।
What is a machine? आप मुस्कुरा क्यों रहे हैं?
एक्चुअली सर बचपन से चाहता था कि इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में पढूं। आज यहाँ बैठा हूँ, बहुत मजा आ रहा है सर।
ज्यादा मजा लेने की जरूरत नहीं है। बोलो, मशीन का डेफिनेशन बोलो।
सर, थिंग दैट रिड्यूसेस ह्यूमन एफर्ट सर।
Will you please elaborate?
सर, हर वो चीज जो इंसान का काम आसान करे या वक्त बचाए वो मशीन है सर। गर्मी लग रही है, बटन दबाया, हवा चालू, फैन, मशीन है सर। मीलों दूर आप अपने दोस्त के साथ बात कर सकते हैं, टेलीफोन, मशीन है सर। करोड़ों का हिसाब चुटकी में करता है, कैलकुलेटर, मशीन है सर। सर एक्चुअली हम मशीनों से घिरे हुए हैं सर। पेन की निब से लेके पैंट की जिप तक सब मशीन है सर। एक सेकंड में अप, एक सेकंड में डाउन, अप डाउन, अप डाउन, अप।
डेफिनेशन क्या है?
सर वही तो बता रहा हूँ सर।
एग्जाम में ये सब लिखोगे? ये मशीन है, अप डाउन, अप डाउन। इडियट। एनीबॉडी एल्स? यस।
Sir, machines are any combination of bodies so connected that their relative motions are constrained, and by which means force and motion may be transmitted and modified as a screw in its nut, or a lever arranged to turn about a fulcrum, or a pulley about its pivot, etc. Especially a construction more or less complex, consisting of a combination of moving parts or simple mechanical elements as wheels, levers, cams, etc.
क्या बात है? Perfect. Please sit down.
Thank you. Thank you.
लेकिन सर मैंने भी तो वही बताया सर, आसान भाषा में।
आपको अगर सिंपल भाषा पसंद हो तो आर्ट्स एंड कॉमर्स कॉलेज ज्वाइन कीजिए।
लेकिन सर मतलब भी तो समझ में आना चाहिए। ऐसे किताबी डेफिनेशन रट के क्या फायदा?
आप किताब से ज्यादा जानते हैं। किताब में यही डेफिनेशन है, और अगर आपको पास होना हो तो आप यही लिखेंगे।
लेकिन सर और भी तो किताबें हैं जिसमें। ओह वाई?
आसान भाषा में भर जाइए। Idiot. So we were discussing about the machine. Ready? तुम वापस क्यों आए हो?
सर कुछ भूल गया हूं सर.
क्या?
Instruments that record, analyze, summarize, organize, debate and explain information that are illustrative, non-illustrative, hardbound, paperback, jacketed, non-jacketed, with forward introduction, table of contents, index that are intended for the enlightenment, understanding, enrichment, enhancement and education of the human brain through sensory route of vision, sometimes touch.
अरे कहना क्या चाहते हो?
किताबें सर, बुक्स भूल गया हूं सर, ले लो.
तो सीधा सीधा नहीं कह सकते थे?
थोड़ी देर पहले कोशिश की थी सर, लेकिन आपको सीधा सीधा पसंद नहीं आया.
So, for me, training is something like that. It has to be absolutely simple, crystal clear, and if it has to be ABCD, it has to be ABCD. Or else we'll just go up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay. The last slide, is it an ongoing process? Yes, of course. Training never ends. It can never end. In today's scenario, there are companies, there are franchisors who actually create trainers, who take help, who actually invite trainers, who in fact also pull in trainers into the company as a role and constantly do this training process. The idea is very simple. You have constant change in method, products, processes. You have heavy investments. Companies actually put heavy investment in terms of interactive, non-interactive kind of methods to enable training. There are online trainings, there are offline trainings, everything. And most important, it's a very effective marketing tool for an organization. So today, companies are also judged by their training modules. What is the kind of support that they give is equally important for me to sell my product to a franchisee. So thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Verma. It was a very, very informative session. In fact, for me, being a trainer in the franchising industry, this is something that I absolutely agree with both of you. We're open to taking questions if there's anyone who would like to ask a question.
Hi. My question is to any one of you. Is there any certified franchise training trainer, like the certified by a franchise association or something like that in India? And how to judge the trainer? For example, if we are going for training, so what are the points we should check about the trainer?
Indian Franchise Association has a certified CFI, they call in the US. I think they have a certified franchise programs, but not in India yet. I think there is a small program going on in Bombay, but I think it's not taken off well. So certified franchise trainers are very less. I know one person who went to the US and got trained himself in this field, but not many in India as certified people. But only experience tells them, probably if you ask both of us, we have been in the industry for so many years, so we know exactly what to do, but we are not certified.
Okay. Just to add to your point, the basic fact is, if you have a product and if you are looking at franchisees, actually you are the best trainer for the product because you know in depth about the entire thing. Okay. The other part, if you are a bigger organization, you actually create a separate team, as he said earlier, that you have a training division and all, which actually, so most of it is actually internal when you look at, selling a product to a franchisee or concept to a franchisee or a business model to a franchisee. Yes, but you also have external agencies which you can actually, a lot of external agencies are there actually as trainers, some known, some unknown, but yeah, you could also look at them as a guidance also. But for me, if you ask me, I'm my best trainer for my product. And there'll be nobody else who could actually beat me if I have to tell anybody about my product.
Thank you.
In fact, it is my turn to step in here that this is exactly what I do. This is exactly what I do with 15 years of experience in franchising or Franchise India. With that kind of knowledge backing my entire team, that is exactly what I do. Like he talked about. So he's excellent in his business, but there are so many other aspects that we talked about the whole day today. What I do is the in-depth training of each of them. So yes, we are into that business. Coming to your point of, what is the kind of expenditure, I think you and me can sit together and discuss that, right? Great, fantastic, thank you. Second, next question, please?
I am a baker and I have got franchise outlets to market my pastries and cakes. The problem with the franchisee is that attrition. He sends them or she sends them, we train them, and after a few days they vanish. So how to contain this?
So it's actually a common problem for everyone actually. Forget about franchise, so we have employees who we train and we lay off. So we don't have any kind of a fixed kind of a process or module that you can do, but it all actually works to not only training part. It actually training is just a part of the entire picture that you show to a franchisee. It's actually the comfort level in which you actually involve him or kind of get him into that actually makes the entire path forward for a map actually. So training is of course the most integral part of the entire thing, and but apart from that, a relationship is the second most important part. I can train you, but if I don't have a good relationship with you, I can always look for an option. But if I train you and I could create a rapport with you, wherein the belief part comes in, I believe in you and you believe in me. That's exactly the point which actually creates a longer duration of togetherness actually. I don't know.
Yeah, I come from the very skilled, like how you're saying, we need to have, very difficult to have people working with. But let me share with you, our company has people who have been with us for 10 years, who started as a pedicurist. But as he rightly said, it is the relationship that the franchisee builds with the employee. So probably we need to talk about how to engage them. And also what we do is, suppose we send them on an international training program, we take a bond. But of course it doesn't work much, but at least we tell them, look, if you are here, I will give you the next training. So each training costs a lot of money, so we need to tell them the value or how much of money, in our system, in our company, we take the certificates, we put the cost to the training and then add it on into their files. So whenever we have a review, we tell the employee that this is the amount of money that we have spent on your development. So it's a kind of an awareness that we give to the employee that, look, we are concerned about you and you came at this level, today you are at this level. So there is a huge gap that we are trying to build, and we are trying to help them to grow in their career. So if you look at a graph, salary graph, probably they've started at 6,000 rupees and they reached at 18,000 rupees. There's a huge growth that, so our HR guys would sit and talk to them about what the plans are for the next 2 years from now, what kind of stylist that they would like to become. So we need, as franchisors or the franchisees, we need to engage them to say what is the growth that we can offer, so that they are retained back.
Yeah. In fact, I like to add on to that, Mr. Mathai. It is not the training that you give, it's what training that you give. If you just give him something which is not adding value to him, just for the sake of giving training, he's not going to stay with you. That is exactly why when Mr. Verma talked about saying that, build up that relationship so that you're very clear what is it that is required. When Mike was talking about those quarters, he said, look, your top 25 people, 25% who are doing well, and the bottom 25%, each of them have different level of training requirements. It's not about delivering training, it's about identifying what training is required and then delivering that training. If you keep on adding value to him, he's not going anywhere. No franchise is going to leave if he feels you're adding value to him day after day. and
For
not
exa-
just doing it.
Just to add to what she said, for example, in your own industry, suppose you are going to train a guy who is loyal to you. If he's not a baker, and if you're sending him in for a customer training program, he wouldn't appreciate that. But if you're a guy who's in the sales, he would appreciate a training program for customers. So because he's see, most franchisees, they will send the loyal guy. Because all training, this guy will be there, he'll be my right hand, so he will never run away from me, at least the next 5 years. So it's wrong to train that guy rather than training the right person for the right job.
Great. Thank you. That was very, very informative. Thank you, Mr. Mathai, and thank you, Mr. Verma. Just a small token of appreciation from our side.